Within the next few trading days, SoFi stock is going to move massive, and we're going to talk about why that is. I believe this move will be to the upside heavily, and I have a lot of reasons to believe that. We're going to get into all those, but this is a stock that's up over 2x year to date, 110% move since the beginning of this year. Most of this move has been on the back of federal student loan forbearance ending, because SoFi used to get about 60% of all of their revenue in 2019 before the COVID pandemic shut down federal student loans. They were getting 60% plus of their revenue from student loan refinances alone. So if we can bring that back into this amazing business that has all these other arms on it, then we can see massive growth moving forward as it relates to revenues, as it relates to EPS, as it relates to free cash flow. And that's a massive positive catalyst for SoFi stock moving forward. So I'm excited to get into this one, but first, if you're new here, I'm Austin. I'm a co-owner at cloudmusicsuite.com. I'm a stock market investor, and most importantly for this video, I'm a SoFi shareholder. I have been for multiple years now, and I'm a very proud SoFi shareholder. The channel's sitting somewhere around 900 subscribers right now. I'm not sure where it's gonna be when I post this video, but help us out on that goal to hit 1,000 subscribers if you're not already subscribed. As a thank you for helping us hit that goal, here's a picture of both my cats, Millie and Luna. Millie's the gray one, Luna's the brown one. They thank you for subscribing. Okay, let's get into this. So SoFi stock is up over 110% year to date, and I believe it's about to move much higher within the next week. And that day that it's going to move a lot higher is Monday, July 31st, and this is before the market open. So what's happening on that day is that they're reporting their Q2 2023 earnings. This is the last earnings report that they're going to have before the student loans come back, and they can tuck that into their business. So hearing commentary around the student loans is what everyone's eyes are going to be on as it relates to SoFi, but there's other things we need to check out in this earnings report as well that are going to give us some insights into the business and see where that stock price is probably going to go over the next few quarters and next few years. I do believe on this Q2 earnings report, they're going to post another quarter of record earnings, record revenues, record EPS, record free cash flow, record deposits. It's going to be a beastly quarter. The question is, what's going to happen to the stock price? It should move the stock price up very nicely in the short term and continue the roar upward that we're having. But as I said earlier, I've been a shareholder of SoFi for quite a long time now, and they have posted some insane, amazing quarters, and the stock price still goes down the following day and the following week. So if we see that situation play out, rest assured I'm going to be a buyer of SoFi shares. Once again, I have actually hit my share goal with SoFi, but if we see major weakness in the share price in the short term, it's such a massive opportunity that I'm going to have to go ahead and scoop up a few more shares if we have that drop. A few things I'm going to be looking for in this SoFi earnings is, one, I'm going to listen to the conference call to see any commentary, any projections, any outlook around student loan refinances, increasing revenues, increasing earnings, etc. I want to hear expectations. I want to know if their current guidance already takes into account the student loans coming back at the end of this year, or if they're going to raise guidance a little bit or substantially because they hadn't projected for the student loans to be added back at the end of this year yet. If SoFi comes out and says that they're raising their full year 2023 guidance, their Q3 guidance, and their Q4 guidance, this stock is set to soar extremely massive. A lot of times stocks don't really move on what just happened in the past quarter, but they move on guidance from the management team. So if we see big guidance beats, let's expect massive upside in the share price. I'll also be looking for somewhere between 30 and 40% revenue growth. I really don't care where it is within that range. If we're above 40, like 41, 42, etc., that's great. But even if we have a 31, 2, 3, somewhere around there, year over year revenue growth, I'm going to be very happy. A 30% revenue growth in this high rate environment time, in this pseudo recession time that we've got going on right now, is insane for a company to post quarter in, quarter out. So I'll be very happy with 30 to 40% revenue growth anywhere in between there. If we hear that revenue growth is somewhere in the 20s or way worse, somewhere in the teens, that would cause a little bit of concern, and I'd need to hear some strong guidance moving forward for Q3 and Q4 so they can get the full year revenue growth somewhere in that 30 to 40% range. The story's not dead if they're somewhere in the 20s or teens as it relates to revenue growth, but it definitely makes the story a lot less compelling around SoFi unless they have clear guidance for the rest of the year how they're going to get the full year to 30 or 40% growth. Outside of revenue growth, I need to see EPS progress continuing. I don't want to see an EPS drop down to the -6 cent, -7 cent range. I want to see -5 cents up to potentially a 1 cent positive EPS. I don't think we're going to get that 1 cent positive EPS, but I would like to see a small beat or even a massive beat as it relates to EPS. This is one of the few stocks I own that's actually a money loser on the bottom line. So in order for me to stay really bullish on the company, I need to see clear, consistent progress as it relates to EPS, getting closer and closer to EPS positive, because I know that stocks follow earnings in the long term. So if SoFi is going to keep on being a money loser, then the share price is going to have weakness in the long term, and I don't want that. Since I'm a long-term investor, I obviously want strength over the long term in the share price. So an EPS beat is going to be huge in Q2 of 2023 that they're about to report. The next thing I'm looking at is actually the technology platform numbers and commentary around that. So the Galileo platform actually saw a customer count decrease in Q1 of 2023. If we see another customer count decrease, that is going to be bad news for the technology side of the business. The CEO of SoFi, Anthony Noto, actually said that they were okay with the Galileo customer count dropping in Q1 because they were going after higher volume customers. Rather than having a bunch of small volume customers, they were going after a few core high volume customers. So I'll also need to see volumes increasing per customer to ensure that their vision is intact with the Galileo platform and the Technesis platform, which together make up the technology platform for SoFi. So customer count growth and average customer volume on the Galileo and Technesis technology platform, I'm going to need to see that in Q2 to stay really bullish. And then one of the last main things going to be looking at is total deposit growth for SoFi. They had guided for about $2 billion of total deposit growth each and every quarter for all of 2023. I want to make sure that they've hit that $2 billion deposit growth goal, and hopefully that they've exceeded that $2 billion deposit growth goal. They actually fund their loans from their deposit just like any other bank. Since SoFi got that acquisition of Golden Pacific Bancorp, they are an FDIC insured bank now. So we need to see those deposits growing by $2 billion plus every single quarter so they can continue to grow their loan portfolio and keep their funding costs low for the loans that they're originating. The way I'm preparing myself for these SoFi earnings next week is not by playing any call options, not by playing any put options. I'm not hedging against this in any substantial way. I'm just keeping some cash on the sideline. I like to keep somewhere between 10 and 20% of my accounts in cash. I'm closer to the 10% range as it relates to my cash value. And all I'm going to be doing is watching and waiting with SoFi. Like I said earlier, if we see any big drop in the share price for SoFi, I will have to go ahead and pick up more shares. I have hit my share goal, I've hit my allocation percentage goal, etc., but I will be a buyer if SoFi drops in any substantial way. Not a massive buyer, but I have to pick up more shares because I see so much growth potential in SoFi, and I want to be with them on their journey to becoming one of the biggest banks in America, having the best back-end technology platform that they sell to other people while trying to become the AWS of Fintech, like they've said so many times. And I want to be a massive beneficiary of the student loan refinance wave that's about to come our way. And SoFi is the best positioned company to take advantage of those federal student loan refinances that are about to come through. So I want to know what you're doing right now. Are you holding SoFi shares? Are you looking to enter SoFi right now? What are you doing? Are you playing any short-term options, or are you just keeping cash on the sideline in case there's any dip? What are you doing with SoFi? I want to hear about it in the comments. That's one of my favorite parts of posting here on YouTube, is here in the comments, having some conversation down there. So go ahead and let me know what you're doing in the comments. I appreciate you so much, and have a great day.